He made his mark with slacker movies like Clerks and Mallrats, and he's already written one New York Times bestseller.
Now, Kevin Smith, director, actor, podcaster, writer, has a new memoir. We'll bypass the main title since it's his morning television, but the subtitle is Life Advice from a Fat, Lazy Slob Who Did Good. Welcome.
We tend to say Tough Smith when I try to promote it. Because the critics for years have always kind of interchanged that S word with my last name and my work, so I said Tough Smith kind of works.
Okay, that'll work.
Tough Smith.
But can I share something with you?
Yeah.
It's very nerve-wracking to come on live national television. So, of course, I just got off a plane. My pulse was running. So I'm standing backstage, and between one of the breaks, Gayle comes back.
Oh, to do a reading of your book.
She literally read my book out loud to me. Not just like my book, but the filthiest passages of my book. And my heart skipped a beat because it was like, why didn't we get you to read this book, man? This
I was
would have been amazing.
worried about you, Kevin.
Gayle has been walking around the office yesterday, all this morning,
She's
walking
selling
around
books.
the set saying, wait a minute, I need to read this to you, which we can't read those things on TV.
Yes, and I said to Charlie, you have a question for Kevin Smith. I read him the part I read to you, and I said, Charlie, what would be your question after that? Because, go ahead, Charlie.
Is there anything you don't tell us?
Yes.
I put it all out there.
That's a very good question.
In my next book, I'll be talking about how in the back hallway I got a little turgid as Gayle was reading my eroticism aloud. It sounded so dirty.
So, and the other question is, what does Mrs. Smith think about this?
That's what I
Which one, my mother or my wife?
Oh, your wife.
The one who you describe in the chapter that Gayle has been reading, which describes in intimate detail, more detail than anybody
should know.
Yes.
Even in pornography would want to know.
I think if you love someone, you speak passionately about them, and it doesn't just end with
Does it sound
the
a bit
flowers in their
pornographic to you,
eyes.
though?
I'm sorry?
Does it sound a bit pornographic to you?
No, not at all.
Just human and real and...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the way...
That's the way you think about her.
Yes, and those are the things we do together as well. And it feels weird, like... so many people spin and sell in this world and put gloss on something.
Right.
To just step out a little bit, all you have to do is be candid. All you have to do is be like, these are the things I do. And people go, oh, I do those things as well. And
Kevin,
suddenly, boom, there's a relatability.
But Kevin, to be fair, we should make it clear you love your wife very much.
Right.
And
Big time. Well, if you read the book, certain parts of her, lots.
No.
Way more than the rest, even.
Parts that you dedicated the book to.
Absolutely, right up front. We kick off the book right away with a dedication that's a little questionable for some. My mother was like, oh, Tiger, really? I said, Mom, it's how I feel.
No, you started off, let me just say this about Kevin. You said, look, you're at 41, you've never acted your age.
Yes.
That you said that you've done so many things in your life. It starts off, guys, talking about, as we all know, where you're giving tribute to your father's testicles, say.
Yes.
That because of
There
your
she
dad.
goes.
Origin
Because,
point.
no, I didn't say anything. Listen, that's a word.
That's a medical term.
It's a medical term.
But Kevin, this is the point I'm making. You credit your dad, though, with giving you your love of movies, your love of TV. You and your dad were extremely close.
Very much
And he
so.
sort of set you on this path.
He did. My dad, that's in the book too. It's weird. I go from talking about my wife's derriere to my dad and how much he meant to me and where I came from, the origin point, aka his testicles. In the book, I kind of point out, hey man, so many people are always pressuring you to accomplish something.
Right.
And I kind of point out that just you being here, out of the million of sperm that has to make that race to the egg, you're the one that did it. The rest of this life is a victory lap. Just sit around and enjoy. My father kind of understood that, but he also had to work for a living. He had 3 kids. Worked at the post office, and this was back in the 70s and 80s when a lot of cats were going postal. He never killed anybody. We were always so happy about that and proud. But he didn't dig his job at all. He just did it. And he lived as an example. He would live for the days off. He would take me to movies on Wednesday to go see matinees, and that kind of fed all that. He was never like, son, you could do this. Never. But he just kind of, his life, working at this job he hated, was kind of the example where I was like, man, I guess if I had a job where it wasn't work, it'd never feel like work if I just loved it. So just do what you love and try to get paid for it.
And here is the romance, apart from what you were saying. This is the dedication. Like its author, this book is dedicated to Jen Swalback, the gorgeous mother of my child, the seductive temptress who keeps me faithful and the friend I've always had the most fun with, my best friend even. And quite like its author, the book is additionally dedicated.
Charlie, you can probably stop
I want to hear the next part. If you say that word, Charlie, that book will sell millions of copies.
Also a medical term is used in the dedication.
Very clinical as well.
Kevin, you're a lot of fun. You are
Thanks
a lot
for
of fun.
having
Good
me,
luck.
man. You guys are awesome.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for selling the book. She literally is out there going,
should do the
pulling
book
people
on
aside
tape.
going, look at this chapter.
And these are her favorite
See
passages.
you tomorrow.
Yeah, you can see she's bookmarked it with a highlight.
Kevin.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.